Hello, Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to my beautiful home. I hope everyone is doing well out there. Don't really care either way. I'm doing fantastic. I'm enjoying myself and living in the lap of luxury, as I always should. Enjoying a great Shabbat Shalom. And I figured I would do a review for a movie that I don't own, but I'd like to own. I'm going to look forward to owning it. I'm going to figure out how to best own it. I guess on DVD, because I don't think it's on Blu-ray. Cost about $14 million and went on to make $20 million after opening at number 7 at the box office. So it stayed around. It went from 7 to 8 to 7 to number 6 and then dropped. It was out around the same time in 1990 as Problem Child, Men at Work, My Blue Heaven, Exorcist 3, Air America, lots of lots of movies at that time. And I think this one is maybe not I think it's probably the funniest of them all. It's a pretty funny concept, and was going to be called Filofax. Filofax was kind of like a non-digital Palm Pilot or, business organizer that people would have. And you got a really tightly wound character in this movie, Charles Grodin. And the other character is Jim Belushi. Can anyone guess what movie I'm discussing? One more thing. It's written by J.J. Abrams, at least co-written by him. So it's his first screenplay credit. You would go on to write Forever Young with Mel Gibson and Jamie Lee Curtis and Elijah Wood. And of course become a very famous filmmaker and television producer. This television show, or this movie that I'm discussing, is called Taking Care of Business. Taking Care of Business is a famous song by the Bachman Turner Overdrive, a Canadian rock band from the 70s, 80s, and still around now. And they have a lot of famous songs. What I Like About You, I believe. Trying to think if that's their song or not. But anyway, Taking Care of Business is definitely their song. And this movie's got a lot of big character actors at the time. This man that I'm going to say right now, Mako, M-A-K-O, he was in several movies right in this era, including Pacific Heights. And it seemed like his name was in the credits for so many different movies. I think he's in Rising Sun as well. So has anyone out there seen Taking Care of Business? Do you enjoy it? I didn't enjoy it as much a couple of years back, but as a kid, I've seen it, not hundreds of times, many times. There's a woman in it named Anne DeSalvo, who, when you try to click on her on Wikipedia, there's nothing to click, so I don't know why that is. She plays Debbie, who's a lady that's kind of obsessed with Charles Grodin's character, and he's just become homeless in the movie because it's kind of like Trading Places, and so as he's homeless, he's relying on this woman to help him do the detective work to try to figure out where James Belushi is. And James Belushi is a really good role for him. As much as, if this was a serious movie, and if this was a serious movie, a drama or a thriller, it'd be a pretty good thriller too. But yeah, it's a comedy. It's all played for laughs. He's trying to escape from jail however he can so he can go to the Chicago Cubs World Series game. I guess they're playing the Angels in the World Series. Just never happens. Never will happen, probably. The Cubs and Angels. And this is when the Cubs hadn't won a World Series yet. Probably not going to win one again anytime soon either. So anyway, he's just bet some of his co-prisoners that he's going to go to the World Series. And so he figures out a way to escape. During that process, he finds the pocket organizer, or Filofax, of Charles Grodin's character, who's this really tightly wound business executive. I guess they do advertising or something. And then so this beautiful woman named Veronica Hamill, she was an actress back then. She was playing this character that's at the house of Charles Grodin. I believe she's like the boss's daughter or something, or the house that Charles Grodin's supposed to go to. Anyway, so he goes in pretending that he's Charles Grodin because no one knows what he looks like. And he just starts ordering all this cool shit and having this great time at this house, going in the pool, going in the spa, and banging Veronica Hamill. And then Hector Elizondo plays the prison warden who tries to start piecing together what exactly is going on with Jim Belushi, where he's not in the jail and all that. Hector Elizondo, Mako. Cast-wise, there's a couple other familiar people, but it's directed by Arthur Hiller. I think the pacing and I think how he plays things for laughs is great. He made The In-Laws from the 70s. He made Silver Streak. He made See No Evil, Hear No Evil. He made Outrageous Fortune. He made a variety of good adventure or comedy, comedy type films. And may he rest in peace. He was a Canadian. Very talented director, in my opinion. He even made The Babe with John Goodman, which is an underrated movie, in my opinion. Not great. Actually, I liked it quite a lot. I would say it was great, but not like one of the best baseball movies ever or anything like that. But definitely a good movie to check out. Good performance by John Goodman. Who knows if it's that realistic or not? And I don't care. But this one's about taking care of business, and Charles Grodin becomes a little bit, I don't want to say one note, because he's got every right to get upset. He's having to live in dumpsters and he has nothing all of a sudden after Jim Belushi's character steals his identity. So a movie called Identity Thief that came out, in the 2010s sometime, I believe 2014 even, wasn't very good at all. Very poor movie. Took similar concepts to this, but this movie, borrows from what's that one I just mentioned? Where they Trading Places. Borrows pretty heavily from Trading Places and some other movies of that era. Maybe a little bit like Outrageous Fortune as well. But yeah, taking care of business. Critics, I remember my grandmother at the time saying that it got horrendous reviews. I was only 9. I'd never even really heard that word too much, and it really did. People were really going out of their way to bang on this movie. I don't really know why. There seemed to be a bias against Disney Hollywood Pictures at the time. So anyway, I really hope that Taking Care of Business can live on and people can enjoy it more. And Jim Belushi, I think you did a pretty good job in this movie as the leading guy, and not the lead guy in all that many great movies. So this is a really fun comedy, and I hope you guys see Taking Care of Business. Some of the baseball scenes and some of the stuff later, it's really becomes really a fun movie, especially when he first is starting to realize that he's pretending to be this really loaded, rich Charles Grodin character. So all that being said, I looking forward to getting this on DVD, or if anyone knows a good home media version to recommend, I'd like to check it out, and we'll go from there. Thanks so much.